welcome to this video. So in this video we shall be talking about the scope of macroeconomics. The scope of macroeconomics. So basically the the main question you should ask yourself is what actually do we refer to as the scope of macroeconomics? What are the main areas or main questions or themes that macroeconomics covers? What are the main areas, main question or themes that macroeconomics covers? So macroeconomics is all about theories and policies. And these are the engines of all macroeconomic decision making. So now let's explore the theories and policies that shape this particular field of economics. So if you look at this graph, from the graph, you see that the scope is divided into two. That's like a tree diagram. You have macroeconomics theories, then you have macroeconomics policies. So you have several theories. These are not all encompassing. Then you have the policies too. Now, macroeconomic theories are basically the ideas, principles, and models that economists develop to understand how the overall economy works. So these theories are simply the blueprints or the maps that explain big picture issues. So they give you an understanding of major issues like inflation, unemployment, economic growth, and how these issues interact. So these theories help economists to diagnose, to identify, to understand the health of the economy. So, for instance, just like a doctor uses symptoms and tests, you know, to detect the cause of illness in people, economists use theories to analyze economic problems. So, economists use theories to analyze economic problems. So, theories gives you the knowledge. For example, a doctor will not be able to detect if a patient is sick. If you go to a doctor, the first question they will try to ask you series of questions to understand possible reason behind your illness. So the ability to understand the possible reasons behind your illness is due to the knowledge they have acquired over time, and this knowledge are informed by principles and models that are designed through theories in medicine. So these are the same. For us to understand issues relating to economy, then we have to have the theoretical understanding. So, basically, the theories explain the conditions, economic problem, and they predict what might happen under various conditions using frameworks. So, they are the fundamental principles that tells us how the economy works. So, the theories are mainly placed in three categories: classical theory, Keynesian theory, and the monetary theory, which we shall discuss shortly. So you have macroeconomic theories that are related to economic growth and development, those ones to national income, money supply, employment, trade, price level, consumption, and investment. You have several others. These are just to name a few. The macroeconomic policies are simply actions or tools that governments and central banks use to influence the economy. So these are now the actions. You have gotten an understanding of the problem. So what do you do to solve the problem? Use macroeconomic policies to solve the problem after gaining an understanding of the issue using macroeconomic theories. So they aim to achieve desirable economic outcomes like reducing unemployment or controlling inflation. So they are the tools used to fix or manage or treat the economy based on these explanations. So, in short, once we diagnose, we understand the problem using macroeconomic theories. Policies are the tools like medicine or surgical procedure. So, the doctor has now has gained an understanding of the cause of the illness. So the doctor will not leave you like that. So the next thing the doctor will do is to actually prescribe medicines. It could be or surgical procedures, operations to get you treated. So that process is known as policy. So it's same vein, policymakers use macroeconomic policies to treat an economy. So these policies might be cash injections, tax cuts, interest rate cuts used to address specific economic issues identified by the theories. So, broadly speaking, macroeconomic policies are categorized into two: fiscal policies, which simply is the use of government spending and taxation to influence economic activities. So the government acts like a prescriber. It knows what to do when there are issues. So it uses fiscal policy to address the issue using spending and tax. Maybe it wants to boost or slow down the economy. So you have two types of fiscal policy. You have expansionary fiscal policy and contractionary. So expansionary fiscal policy simply means an increase in government spending or decrease in tax to promote economic activities. So, for instance, the government wants to ensure that production of goods and services increase, and uh, uh, service production has slowed down or the economy has slowed down, then the government will intervene by increasing its spending maybe on roads, building more roads to facilitate transportation of goods and services, or schools, or it reduce taxes on people so they will be able to purchase more. So in essence, it is increasing G, government spending, or reducing T. So contractional fiscal policy, it refers to the decrease in government spending G or increase in tax to slow down economic growth. Now you have monetary policy. So monetary policy simply refers to the process by which the central bank manage the supply of money, interest rates, and credit in the economy to achieve specific economic objectives. So here in this case, it is the central bank use money, interest rates, and credit loans to ensure they meet some targets. So the main tools they use are the open market operations, discount rate, and reserve requirement ratio. So open market operations simply refer to the buying and selling of treasury bonds and securities. Discount rate is the rate at which the commercial bank lends from the central bank, while the reserve requirement ratio is the minimum amount of reserves banks must hold. So that fraction of total reserve, the amount of money people deposit in banks, percentage of it should be kept by the banks with the central bank. So that's a reserve requirement. So we have basically two types of monetary policy. We have expansionary monetary policy and contractionary monetary policy. So expansionary monetary policy simply is a policy approach used to stimulate the economy. So you basically increase the money supply to ensure economic agents have more money to purchase goods or services, or you lower the interest rate to ensure that they can be able to make more credit, borrow and spend. So the aim is to increase economic growth or reduce unemployment or recover from a recession. The other one is contractionary monetary policy. So this in this case is simply you want to slow down the economy. Maybe prices of goods and services are increasing rapidly. You have to control it. Or this. So in this case, you reduce the money supply or increase the interest rate to discourage borrowing, which will discourage spending and investment.